beautifuls, this is Aromie here, and welcome back to Seduce Me, a visual novel. Last episode, my quote-unquote father texted me that he's gonna come pick me up, so, of course, the dummy as I am, I believed that it was him, but it has been very late that we've been waiting, and Naomi and Suzu are already gone. So, apparently I have no signal. I double-checked my phone and saw all 5 bars for signal. He must be in a dead zone. Before I could finish, a group of hands grabbed at my feet. My hands, feet, and covered my mouth. I screamed into the hand over my mouth, struggling to pull away from the hands grabbing at my limbs. It felt disgusting and scary, feeling their hands on me. I needed it to stop.
Hey! Don't dirty up Malix's prey!
The voice, which sent a fearful shiver down my spine, whispered into my ear.
You're coming with me, Miss Anderson.
How'd you know my name? I couldn't fathom what was happening, but before I knew it, I was blindfolded and my limbs were quickly tied up. I felt myself being carried somewhere and was shoved into something that echoed the interior of a bus or a van. The doors closed and off I was taken, unsure of where I was going and why. That does not help the fact that rapes is... Oh. Is this the part where the rape is? All I knew was that I was in trouble. I said that because of the van, because rapists bring you in a van and they're doing... All I saw was darkness. I felt numb and I was taken to a place I didn't know of. I couldn't even move my lips to scream. Sounds zipped past my ears, first of the interior of a car, then the outside. And an echoey space with whispers and cackles of people vibrating through it. However, the wrap around my eyes was eventually removed from my face and my bonds were cut. It took a while for my eyes to adjust, but I found myself in a warehouse, surrounded by devils, including Malix, who was smirking at me.
Nicely done! I'm sure those little shits will come running to find you when they realize you didn't return to your precious little mansion. They'll search everywhere for you.
Malix walked over and set the barrel of his gun against the skin between my eyes.
It'll be so funny when they find your dead body instead.
What the fuck? Israel. All of a sudden, a bright purple light engulfed the room, causing the devils around me, including Iris and Malix, to cover themselves.
What the?
Gusts of wind rushed past me, almost forcing me back. I covered my face with my arms, bracing myself and standing my ground. I tried to peek through my arms to see what was going on, but the light continued to shine bright. Oh, Damien! As the gust slowly started to die, the light began to fade, revealing a blank expression Damien, staring coldly at Malix. Damien.
I'm here, as I promised.
So cute, like a friend. Malix moved his arms from in front of his face and slowly took in new sight in front of him. Quickly, Malix's face turned to that of a pure evil delight.
Out of the 5 pretty boys, you summoned the pathetic one? What a fucking moron!
He's not pathetic. Damien stared at Malix, silently and fiercely cold. Damien began to walk towards Malix. I forgot the E, I guess. One step at a time. Malix, however, brought up his gun, pointing it at Damien.
So long, pretty boy!
God. That seems like a slow-mo bullet, and it's shining everywhere, and it's going super slow-mo at Damien and just pierced through. Malix pulled the trigger and let a bullet fly straight at Damien's head. I gasped, bracing myself for the result of the shot. However, Damien kept walking. Damien didn't fly back, nor did he flinch from the shot. I couldn't see the bullet wound, but I knew there had to be one in Damien's face.
What the? Fucking die!
Malix began to quickly pepper shots into Damien's face, some of them running completely through his head. There was no blood, no fire, nothing. It was as if Damien didn't really exist as he walked towards the now frightened devil.
What crap spell is this?
I As Damien finally reached Malik, the devil jabbed Damien's head towards the ground and making Damien's body fall and slam into the concrete. As the body settled onto the ground, it slowly began to burn away in purple flames. Malik gritted his teeth.
Distraction. Where are you, Damien?
Malik scanned the room like a hungry dog hunting for its final meal. Malik's body began to glow a fiery red color in anger of the situation. The remaining devils stared, trying to figure out what to do. Help Malik or watch in silence. Iris, however, walked up beside me and crossed her arms as she watched with an amused smirk on her face.
Come out!
The air instantly went from frantic to still in energy. What could have been described in a tone as the color red quickly turned into a deep, deadly mix of purple and black as everything began to blend together all at once. Damien's voice finally replied. However, his voice seemed different.
What's wrong, Malix? Are you afraid of me now?
I was suddenly afraid. Something about Damien didn't fit right with how I knew him. It sounded otherworldly. His voice was dripping with almost a sadistic tone as he spoke through the air.
Afraid of a pretty boy like you. You don't even have the balls to face me head on. You're the one who's afraid.
I don't think so. Looking to Malik, however, I could tell that he was off. Something about what Damien was doing was keeping Malik in his place.
Oh, I'm not afraid of you. In fact, I know very well you're afraid to move right now.
Alright, Damien's mind
You're
reader.
practically screaming it in your mind.
Malik, in a bit of insane rage, began to shoot into the air, letting the bullets fly into the ceiling.
Shut the hell up!
Damien's demonic laughter filled the room as a group of dark figures appeared around Malik, walking him slowly and menacingly. In defense, Malik's fired shots at each into the around him, causing them to fall and fade away in purple flames. However, that didn't stop more from appearing around him and closing in on him. Malik became frantic. What was this the extent of a demon power? I suddenly felt a pair of hands cover my eyes tightly, pulling me against someone's chest. I gasped, but was stopped from prying their hands off my face.
It's me. Don't look.
Sam, why are you always the hero? I listened carefully and let the last two words linger in my mind. Don't look. Why? What was being hidden from me? I wanted to know, but something told me to obey Sam's command. I could still hear Max's scream of agony and the sound of ripping flesh off. Still, the smell of blood was covered by the harsh odor or an ashen fire. It was better that I wasn't able to speak.
Damien! Enough!
Almost instantly after James' command, the sound stopped. The only thing anyone could hear then was the sound of dripping blood.
At least let me dispose what's left of him.
What's left of him? What?
I'll take care of it. You've done enough, Damien. Come out.
After a brief silence, a pair of footsteps made their way to my spot. Each step seemed to echo with a haunting, otherworldly tone, almost as if very low and dark. Piano played a singular note with each step the pair of feet took.
I will admit, you really wailed on him. You practically scared everyone out of the warehouse. It's a good thing you were hiding when you lost your glamour spell, huh?
Glamour spell? Glamour spell? What did he mean? Why did Damien sound so different? Why was this being hidden from me?
It's a spell that makes us look human.
I knew it! I froze. Look human. They didn't look like humans after all. What did they look like?
Like demons.
Oh God. As if Matthew knew what Dean was talking about. Matthew spoke up, followed by the sound of a cork popping out of a bottle. I only know glamour because of The Wolf Among Us, because the trolls took glamour to look like Snow White. Well, one troll did, not everyone did, but they took the glamour to look like humans. I know that, but oh my, what do they look like?
Well, not for much longer. Here.
I could hear the small clinking of glass being passed before hearing Damien guzzle down a liquid of some sort. The feel of the air around me gently began to warm back, insinuating that everything had been returned to normal. Sorry, my boyfriend is texting me. He's at work telling me stuff about his job. So, sorry. Finally, Sam moved his hands from his eyes, allowing me to see around me once again. The devils, including Eris, had fled. Malik, who is Eris? Is that the girl? Because if we already knew her name, why did they do question marks still? Max was missing, but the bloodstains left behind in his place told me that he was definitely dead regardless of his location. The boys, however, had gathered around me, all of them, including Damien, looking like nothing had happened. What just... I tried to speak, but everything zipped around in my head at the whole event that I felt like speaking was impossible.
Let's just get you home, miss. There's nothing more to see here.
Do I get to see you guys as demons, though? I could only nod. What had happened boggled my mind to the point of disbelief. I was second-guessing everything, lost in a sea of what, and how, and when. As we walked out of the warehouse, I looked to Damien for some form of sign that I wasn't dreaming. Damien, despite looking down at his feet, held a face of cold sadness, as if he regretted what he did. It was over. Max was gone and the boys were finally safe. A wave of relief ran through my body at the thought of never having to deal with that group again. Oh my god, is this an ending? At the same time, a pang of realization hit the back of my mind. The boys were only going to stay until after Malix was defeated. That was our deal. As we approached home, I could feel something heavy weigh down my heart. It was late, but the boys let me inside and turned on the lights in the lobby.
Finally, we can relax.
It will be good to have some rest without devils breathing down our necks.
I'm just tired. Can I hit the hay early?
I think some sleep would be good for all of us.
I looked to Damien, knowing he could read my mind, and frowned. I didn't want him to know about my thoughts on the situation. Yeah, that sounds good. I wanted to just end tonight. Too much had happened, and I felt dizzy just trying to figure it out. However, Damien spoke up, stopping all of us from moving.
Should we be gone in the morning?
Oh my god. It's ending, isn't it? The air became still in tension. The realization of the situation hit the boys like a wave, forcing them to turn to me in curiosity. They had remembered their deal, and were now awaiting me to decide their fate. I gulped, face to face with the reality of the situation. The boys were leaving it up to me. They looked like they were willing to accept whatever I had demanded. It was only fair, though, after all that had happened. I looked at Damien, feeling my heart flutter in my chest. I didn't want him to leave, but would he ask to stay? I hoped that he would say no and ask me to stay longer. As he knew what I wanted, Damien moved and stepped to me, staring into my eyes with almost pleading eyes. His eyes made me want to whimper in guilt, but then he spoke.
I know we've only been here for a short while, but you've done so much for us just by giving us a place to stay. However, if I may be honest, I really would like us to stay here longer. Can we?
My heart skipped while a large red blush ran across my cheeks. The boy stared at Damien wide-eyed, but didn't dare to speak out. Damien stepped back to give me space, returning to where he was. I moved my gaze across each boy, trying to make a decision. If they left in the morning, I would never see them again, and my life could return to normal. If I did decide to let them go, that would have been for the best. No goodbyes, no delays. But did I want to? They had done so much for me in such a small amount of time. Hell yeah, let them stay! I wanted them to stay. I wanted him to stay. I merely smiled, staring at the man I had come to have feelings for, before speaking at last. I would love it if all of you could stay. The boys cheered tiredly, but nonetheless enthusiastically. I giggled at the sight. It was cute to see everyone so excited, despite the tiredness that ran equally through our bodies. Today was a rough day. My home is your home, as long as you can still help with chores. The boys nodded in unison, agreeing to the terms I had set for them. Despite the good situation, I felt myself slowly slipping into unconsciousness. However, James quickly clapped his hands together, getting everyone's attention and waking me up, making sure I didn't pass out on the floor.
All right, everyone. We're all very tired, so let's head to bed, shall we?
Oh, Yeah, sleep is actually a thing. Right.
We've had a very long day, but it will be good to just relax tonight and tomorrow.
Sleep sounds really good right now.
Yeah, man.
I watched a small smile grow onto Damien's lips. He shared my excitement, knowing that we would be together longer. Who knew how long we would be? Who knew how long we would stay together? All I cared about was that I would be with him. The others quickly left to finally rest, leaving me and Damien alone at last. My heart fluttered a bit as Damien walked closer to me. He was happy, and it was really cute to see him that way. So I didn't do anything but smile back.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Damien. I'm happy to have you stay here. I watched his smile brighten a bit before he cleared his throat and looked up at me with a serious face. I didn't know if it was a tiredness or my growing attachment to him, but I felt myself sway a bit on my feet. However, Damien's face made it clear that he wanted to say something else, making me forget that my bed was also calling for me.
Listen, about what happened at the warehouse.
No, it's fine. You did what you had to do. I understand. I had accepted everything that happened and knew that Damien had to do what he had to do. He was real, and he was someone I didn't want to be without, even if that meant nodding against my curiosity. Besides, I was too tired to explore that memory further. Damien nodded before holding out a hand to me.
Come on, let's get you to bed.
I nodded before Damien gently lifted me up into his arms like a bride and carried me to my room. I didn't want to leave his arms, leaning my head against Damien's chest, but eventually I was slowly lowered to my bed and covered with my bed covers. I was still in my school clothes, but I was too tired to strip or care. I looked to Damien, finding a yawn from escaping me as he gently ran a hand over my hair.
Good night. I'll make breakfast for you in the morning.
I nodded with a tired smile, but watching him slowly stand and leave my room, closing the door. A wave of happiness washed over me as I laid in bed. I made a good choice. Sure, it would be hard, but I could tell that I would be able to manage it. Help around the house and being with a man whom I was slowly starting to fall for would be worth it. I slowly felt my exhaustion take over me. I let sleep consume me as I drifted into the darkness in my mind. Everything was peaceful. I was happy. Phone ended. What kind of ending did I get, yo? I'm not quite sure. I won't get copyright for this, right? I'm scared I'll get copyright for this. Still talking over it. Yay. Yeah, this is the credits. Huh? I skipped it.
You are an interesting creature.
What the fuck? I opened my eyes to see a woman staring down at me with a very sly smirk on her face. I opened my mouth to scream in fright, but a hand quickly covered my mouth.
No screaming now. Too early, silly girl.
I could only stare up at the woman above me. I still felt weak, not having the strength to move and fight her off. She was very beautiful, but I felt more anger than amazement.
Why do the boys like you? You're unique, yes. But that can't be all that you have going for you.
Rage began to consume my core again. This woman, whoever she was making me mad. She must have known as she let another smirk grow onto her face.
Ooh, you're feisty. That could be why.
Is this not the end? I don't get it. Before I could bite her hand in anger, she removed her hand from my lips, standing up and staring down at me from her place next to my bed. I quickly sat up and glared daggers at the intruder. Who the hell are you, and why are you in my room? The woman began to laugh, making the rage inside me increase. I wanted to punch her, but I waited for her answer.
How silly of me. I forgot that we demons are not well known of in your world.
You're a demon?
You can call me Diana, little human.
Diana? Demon? You're a demon?
I am, but I'm much more than just an average demon.
What do you mean?
Silly girl. I'm a succubus.
I stared at Diana in shock. A succubus. First incubi. Now a succubus? Great. I have now met both genders of sex demons. Diana crossed her arms under her bosom, and looked at my body.
Well, you are pretty. A goody little two shoes, aren't you?
I moved out and stood from the bed, still glaring at Diana. Why are you here?
Oh, I just wanted to see who my competition was.
Competition?
For the boys, of course. They don't belong here, and yet here they remain. I want to know why, and remedy this little issue.
What's with this, like, sexy song in the background? This girl was seriously pissing me off. Issue? What issue? They want to stay here so they can.
Silly, uneducated human. You don't understand the important roles these boys play in the abyssal planes. You keeping them here is practically imprisonment.
You have about 10 seconds to leave.
Is that a threat? How cute. What are you going to do? Kill me?
And if I do?
You barely have the strength to stand, little human. I can rip the rest of your energy out and knock you into a coma. You'll never be able to wake up again.
Touch me and I'll...
Enjoy every minute of it.
I felt my body freeze and heat up to almost a painful haze. My mind began to feel fuzzy as Diana stepped to me and caressed my cheek.
Now, you're going to listen to everything I say without any questions. Got it?
I nodded.
Good. I plan to bring the boys back to the abyssal planes. Why? So that I can take my place as queen of their realm. They have no reason to be here in this silly little world, so I'm going to make sure they return home. Okay, Pumpkin?
I nodded but growled. My rage couldn't be concealed despite the hold I was under. Yeah, not yeah. You evil bitch.
Call me evil all you want, dearie. I'm not evil. You're just in my way.
I felt Diana lean into my ear and whisper, making me unconsciously shiver in both pleasure and annoyance.
Now, be a good little human and go to bed. I'll make sure they're gone before you get home tomorrow from school, so make sure to say goodbye in the morning.
That's the worst. I felt my body move on its own to lay in bed and cover itself with my bed sheets. I glared at Diana the entire way down. Diana laughed at my futility. I'll get you.
Oh, please do.
All of a sudden her voice deepened and became cold and demonic, sending a violent scared shiver down my spine. Her red eyes practically illuminated in the darkness of my room as she glared at me.
Give me a reason to make your life a living hell.
I gritted my teeth, trying to fight back against the hold on me. She couldn't have been that tough. She needed energy to survive, right? I was sure she couldn't have had enough to hold me down forever. Diana then laughed and returned to normal.
Oh, and make sure you don't tell the boys I was here. I want my visit to be a surprise.
I felt the hold on me disappear, allowing me to sit up and practically growl at Diana in rage. What's stopping me?
Then you must not care about your friends and family as much as you care for the boys.
I stopped and stared. What did she mean by that? Was that a threat to my family? Diana smirked at me, knowing the confusion behind my eyes.
Let's just say that if you tell the boys about me, I'll make sure that no one will care for you, and you'll be all alone in this little house until the day you die.
What, chica? The F did you tell me? I could feel fear creeping into me. Alone? How could she do that? The word demon reverberated, I'm guessing, in my head, reminding me that I was facing off against something supernatural. A human with a shield versus a devil was one thing. A human on her own versus a demon was another.
Have a good night.
And with that, Diana sank into the floor through magic purple pentagram. which vanished as her head vanished into the floor. I couldn't believe it. I had one problem, and now I had another. Instead of a crazy psycho devil who wanted to kill me and the boys, I had a succubus wanting to ruin my life and take the boys away. Could my life get any worse? No, I wasn't going to let her win. She's not as powerful as she looks. I know it. I had to mentally confirm it. She wasn't going to win. The boys wouldn't stay with me. I let out a sigh before closing my eyes, affirming my plan of action. No matter what she was going to do, I was going to beat her. Eventually the morning arrived and the sun screamed at me to get up. Surprisingly, I woke up before my alarm clock once again, which was nice. I stretched out and quickly got dressed, getting ready for school. She expects me to say goodbye to the boys. I will say good morning and will see them when I come back. No way am I going to say goodbye. I scooped up my bag and headed downstairs to the dining room, seeing the boys already eating a delicious selection of food. The smell made my stomach growl widely, as the sight of food drew me to walk further into the room.
Good morning, miss. Did you sleep well?
Before I could lie hiding the incident in the back of my mind, Damon furrowed his eyebrows and stopped eating.
She's here.
The boys looked at Damien in confusion while I cursed his ability silently in my mouth.
Damien, what's up with you? Of course she's here. She kinda owns the house.
Damien looked to me, wanting me to explain for him. However, the threats that Diana gave me last night wanted to keep my mouth shut. I'm sorry, I do not want you guys hurt. I shook my head at Damien, not wanting to talk about it. Damien sighed and looked to James. James tilted his head and furrowed his brows at Damien before looking at me.
Does anyone else live in this house?
No, just us.
Then who is Diana?
Frick! Damn you, Damien! My heart stopped. Damien was still able to read my mind. I couldn't help but glare at him, but he continued to press as a hard tell-the-truth gaze at me. I sighed. Damien was going to press the issue, so I had no choice but to speak. A girl named Diana came by last night.
Diana? Is she important?
Did she try to hurt you?
She's a succubus. The simple word made the boys stop and stare at me. I looked to each boy, unsure of what went through their minds. Should I have avoided it?
So, she's come to try and bring us back.
She must really be desperate.
Well, what should we do now?
Nothing. She'll give up eventually.
Will she?
The boys continued to look at me as if I knew the answer to that question. Damn it, Damien. She said that if I told you, she'd make my life a living hell. She can't possibly do that, right? She's not a devil.
No, she isn't. However, she is a very powerful demon.
She's a master of mind manipulation and has been trained in illusion. Unlike other demons who use strength to get power, she uses her charisma.
She has the power to make armies bow to her and obey her every whim. That's why she's so obsessed with us.
What? What do you mean?
Well, she sorta has family ties to us. She was promised to marry one of us in exchange for more power.
What?
She's just some whacked up hussy who doesn't know how to close her legs. She's not a real threat.
Oh, really? I feel insulted.
The boys and I looked around the room, wondering where the voice came from. I felt cold sweat run down the back of my neck in fear, remembering what kind of power she had. At last we saw Diana by the entrance of the kitchen, juggling a single red apple in her hand as she leaned against the archway. The boys quickly surrounded me, glaring at the intruder.
So, you took up a human name as well.
Beautiful name, isn't it? Well, for a human name, anyway.
What the hell do you want?
To bring you back, of course. However, you weren't supposed to know that I was coming. I completely forgot about that little mind-reading ability. My mistake.
Diana pushed off from the archway and walked towards us, making the boys step closer to me in a protective circle. Diana laughed.
My. What has the world come to? A group of demons protecting a human girl? I'll tell you right now, she's not that pretty. And from what I can tell, she's still a virgin.
So? It means I'm effing innocent. My face grew red in complete anger and embarrassment. How dare she? No, let's not talk. Diana chuckled and smirked at me, knowing that I wanted to hit her, but I had control of myself. And this is where we're gonna stop. It's getting a bit intense. I'm kind of sad that this is about to end, but then I got like 4 more other guys to go through anyways. But I don't quite remember what save it was for the... I think it was this one. I had to go through this one to pick out who I want to help, because that's why it led me to Damien, because I picked him to help me with the party. So it's gonna be a little repetitive. Hopefully not. The reading's gonna be quite different, but I think the party and stuff are gonna be the same, so I'll just rush through that. Because I really wanted to see different endings, but since I didn't further on with the kissing with Damien, there was no like sex scene. So kind of dodged a bullet right there. I don't know if, ouch, my knee. I don't know if there's gonna be any more of that, but oh well. Yeah, I can't help it. So I hope you guys are enjoying this so far. I am quite sad this is about to end, and it's gonna end like 5 times for me, and then no more. Kind of sad. But thank you guys for watching. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys next time.